And that person might reach out to say, I don't know, your favorite legal YouTuber, and that legal YouTuber might then go down the entire rabbit hole to figure out if any crimes have been.
Whoa. Again, I sincerely apologize to Legal Evil. Welcome to the Serf Times, everybody. So this is a channel where I obviously edit news of the day. So you might be wondering why exactly is there a pre-recorded segment at the very start of this. And this is because I'm talking about a topic that a lot of people have emailed me about. And a lot of people have emailed me very concerned that this is actually becoming similar to a Gamergate-like fiasco in which misogyny is being weaponized on the internet. And a lot of people are losing themselves without realizing why there might be some fault on both sides. And of course, I'm talking about a fiasco known as the Sssniperwolf versus Jacksfilms saga. Now, I'm recording this video because I want to quickly explain a couple parts about this saga to anyone who's not completely familiar and explain why this isn't exactly a both sides thing. This is clearly someone who has done something in violation of the YouTube terms of service and has gotten very differential treatment based on YouTube's own policy. However, I do want to give some context to that as to why this could have been something completely different, and it's since evolved into something that we now know it as today. Now, if you're not totally familiar, Jacksfilms is a very large YouTuber who has almost 5 million subscribers, who has made several call-out videos on a lot of different content creators who have done videos where they're basically just stealing content, and one of the worst offenders in that category happens to be Sssniperwolf. Sssniperwolf is a monstrously huge YouTube channel where all she does is play TikTok videos and then reacts to them in real time and not really give any credit to the creators, not give anyone any links to find those creators, and not really transform or add any new substance to the original content, thereby stealing it. And I think it's a very worthy person to call out in the same way you would call out, say, XQC for doing the same thing, as Jack Saint has done numerous times to react streamers and what they do. Now, where Jacksfilms went further than what most people would deem to be a fair call out would be the creation of JJJ, aka Jacksfilms, the separate channel, which has 407,000 subscribers. This channel itself for the last 11 months has been doing a parody of Sssniperwolf, in which he simply watches Sssniperwolf videos and comments on them. And if this was the end of the story, this is a point in which I could say and look at this entire thing and say, well, this has gone a little bit beyond performance art. You've been doing this for over 11 months and you have tons and tons of videos where all you're doing is reacting to a reactor. And, you know, as a person targeting another person and their behavior, this in and of itself, if this was the end of the story, may have been a case for someone to come forward and say, well, this person has been making non-stop video after video after video after video on me, and at this point it seems as if they're not really properly targeting other individuals or creators, they're simply targeting me over and over and over. At that point, Sssniperwolf maybe had a better case, as in, like, this person isn't just making 1 or 2 criticism videos of me, they're dedicating entire channels to me when there are other creators like myself who do this, and that's all moot now. That all goes away at the point where you've actually directly, you know, done a live stream targeting that individual. And one of the more disgusting things about this story is that as it's come out, more information has been revealed that Sssniperwolf has also done a lot of potentially horrifying actions in endangering minors or trying to sexualize minors through demanding that they twerk for her or, you know, reveal themselves sexually. Those videos haven't been addressed by YouTube. Those videos haven't been addressed by her. No one has spoken about that in terms of both YouTube's response and Sssniperwolf. So this looks really bad on Sssniperwolf. There's just no two ways about this. And at this point, this is a monstrously huge creator. It doesn't matter if it's Sssniperwolf. It doesn't matter if it's XQC. This is someone who was, I think, fairly called out initially for stealing content. And after being called out fairly for stealing content, instead of addressing any of that or trying to become a better person, she has instead ignored those call-outs and gone much further into the realm of directly endangering Jacksfilm and his partner, who has nothing to do with this. The reason I'm talking about this story again is because there has been some developments in it. If you weren't following the saga, Sssniperwolf is one of the most popular YouTube content creators on the platform. Over 30 million subs, nearly as many subs as Canada has human beings. Very, very big channel. Jacksfilms accused Sssniperwolf in a handful of videos of basically stealing content. You know, taking content from TikTok and then just uploading it, sometimes without any credit, most of the time actually without any credit, sometimes without even, you know, the watermarks in the TikTok video so people could find who the original content creator was, and then not really transforming it or contributing to it in any way, just sitting back and being like, whoa, what? Oh, neat, it's a donut, stuff like that. And then after a couple of those videos, Sssniperwolf did a live stream on her Instagram where she filmed herself outside of Jacksfilms' address, which is, of course, going to be showing lots and lots of her fans where he and his wife live, which is incredibly frightening if you're a content creator to have that happen to you. And everyone was asking, is YouTube going to take any action on this? Because this is pretty severe. This is a very large content creator on your platform who's done something that is clearly in violation of your terms and service, and something that does put other content creators in danger, as well as their family members who have nothing to do with this. So YouTube releases this, confirming Sssniperwolf has received a temporary monetization suspension per creator responsibility policies. Off-platform actions that put others' safety at risk and harm our community and the behavior of both sides isn't what we want at YouTube. Hoping everyone helps move this convo to a better place. Hoping you would all just, you know, stop talking about this and kind of leave it alone. Let me start by saying I'm sorry for my recent actions. It is inexcusable. I'm sorry to Jacksfilms, YouTube, the entire creator community, and my incredible fans for not being a better example for appropriate conflict resolution. Jacksfilms, while we certainly don't see eye to eye and have our differences, I am sorry for reacting the way I did when I should have taken the opportunity to show young creators how adults and professionals resolve conflict by communicating directly, respectfully, and privately. Not for views or content, but a meaningful example of how conflict should be solved. I will reach out directly and hope we can find some time to connect and communicate. Respectfully, I'd also like to thank YouTube for holding me accountable. I deserve it, respect the decision, appreciate the opportunity to learn and grow from a true lapse in judgment. Absolutely zero word about endangering minors. And if you're wondering what I'm talking about, 2 videos have surfaced. The first one was Sssniperwolf in a chat program where you basically connect with random strangers on either video, text, or on audio. And in that program, she was asking people who were underage to twerk for her in exchange for her flashing them. That video obviously garnered a lot of attention. And then afterwards, another video was revealed where she was doing the same thing to a young woman who could be underage as well. I don't know if that's been 100% confirmed, asking her to flash her tits. 2 things that are obviously extremely, extremely troubling. And there's been absolutely zero mention of that, either by YouTube or by Sssniperwolf. There was much controversy about the light touch of the punishment, deemed to be little more than a slap on the wrist, when lower profile creators have had their channels demonetized for months or even banned for far less. I've had 2 channels just outright taken off the internet because they were falsely flagged. So baddies came in, said that one of them was scams and malpractices, did a whole bunch of mass flagging. Channel just gets deleted off the internet, and I got no recourse in that case. There's accusations here, and by the way, it was restored eventually, thanks a lot to a whole bunch of lefties online who were making a bunch of noise about it and tweeting out about it and stuff like that. So to pass so much more troubling behavior, actual doxing through filming outside someone's house, revealing where they live. The second issue is that YouTube says the behavior on both sides isn't what we want on YouTube. Again, the issue does not seem both-sided. Jacksfilms called Sssniperwolf out for a long time for that type of content as he reviewed it as theft. Sssniperwolf then doxed him. YouTube is giving these equal weight and is seen as problematic. Sssniperwolf actually ended up thanking YouTube for her punishment in an apology message to Jacksfilms and the audience, saying they were holding her accountable in the most temporary of ways.
So one of the world's largest reaction YouTubers, Sssniperwolf, has seemingly doxed another YouTuber, Jacksfilms, and they weren't exactly on the greatest of terms to begin with.
We know where you live and we came to torment you.
Now, one of the unwritten rules of online flame wars is that what's said on the internet stays on the internet. But if an online adversary were to, say, move your dispute from the internet to the real world by making an unannounced visit to your home address late at night, then posted a picture of said home to millions of their followers while demanding that you two should talk, well, that's the kind of thing that might alarm a reasonable person. And perhaps a person whose home was shared with millions of people might wonder aloud if crimes have been committed in the process. And that person might reach out to say, I don't know, your favorite legal YouTuber, and that legal YouTuber might then go down the entire rabbit hole to figure out if any crimes have been.
Whoa. Again, I sincerely apologize to Legal Eagle for my involvement.
As much as it is a description of the rapidly escalating feud between two online adversaries, Jacksfilms and Sssniperwolf. Now, Jacksfilms, a YouTuber and sketch comedian, has long been critical of fellow YouTuber and live streamer Sssniperwolf, that's Sniper with 3 capital S's, for what he describes as her stealing from other creators by reposting content without permission and creating non-transformative reaction content.
A few weeks ago, I made a video about YouTuber Sniperwolf and how she's profited off the works of thousands of other creators by reacting to them in the laziest way possible. In fact, she's gotten so predictable that Twitter user Piosaurus3 made us a bingo card out of Sniperwolfisms, and we just kind of ran with it.
No!
Shaky cam? Oh, your boy's got shaky cam.
What's wrong with you?
Stop yelling. It's kind of unnecessary.
Got their car, their neighbor's car.
Oh, all right. Summarizing, sound effect.
That's a take on the electric Porsche.
Yes! Mr. Beast captions!
I guess in the interest of being transformative, that was witty.
Jacksfilms has publicly called on YouTube to demonetize Sniperwolf's channel.
I'm glad I'm old, but I don't know who these people are. You may not know who these people are, but you have to understand that someone who has 34 million, followers on YouTube has a very significant reach to their audience. And if that audience has a lot of young viewers, you don't want to normalize behavior such as I should be able to show up at someone's house if they have disagreements with me and are calling me out or are critical of me, and then film their home address. Like, it was extra worrisome that Jacksfilms' wife had to make a statement being like, I am not a public figure. I have absolutely no involvement in this. I just happened to fall in love with a YouTuber, and I work a regular 9-to-5 job. It's very, very frightening to me what is happening.
His entire channel is just me. Every single video for the past few months has been about me.
Sniperwolf then suggested that she
By the way, that was a secondary channel that he started as a bit. And you could say it's going too far in that, it's one thing to make multiple critical videos of another content producer. It's another to do an entire performance piece where you're just going to react to them reacting over and over and over and over in that secondary channel. But I mean, any criticisms you may have had, you took things so far afterwards.
He might have to get a restraining order against him. So now we have two content creators who have viciously accused each other of various civil and criminal violations. So the question is, who is correct here? And since none of them run...
He was also giving credit to the people she used. Yes, that was part of it. He was doing it. He was giving credit to the artists where he could find them. He's also interviewed a lot of the TikTokers who have appeared in her videos to reveal that no, they did not get massive promotional boosts from them. There was that as well.
Is perhaps best known for making videos in which she reacts to other people's content.
That stupid idea of yours, it's never gonna take off. I won't be caught dead wearing a cheap bag like this.
Now, this epic feud finds its roots in April of 2022 following reports that Sniperwolf and her then boyfriend...
By the way, Legal Eagle has also done a video on XQC explaining why a lot of what XQC does is not what would not fall under the grounds of fair use, right? A lot of it can simply be that he's taking the original content producer's content. He's, taking a very large portion of what would make that content, profitable to that original content creator, and then adding very, very little bit in terms of his critique or his transformation of the original use. I am not a creator, but my husband is. Tonight, Sniperwolf came to my house, posted it on her Instagram for all to see, and tried to investigate a confrontation. I now have to worry about what she, as one of my favorite creators, where's the second part? Or any of her many fans may do to harm me or my family. I am a regular human that works a normal 8-to-5 corporate job that has happened to fall in love with a YouTuber. She might claim that she's coming after a, quote, bully, but she is actually stalking and doxing normal people with no power. I'm an example of this. I beg you, what can you do to help us, to keep us safe?
Wolf of doxing him, which he described on Twitter as, quote, a literal crime. Well, in meme form. In her defense, Sniperwolf claims that she has no idea how to dox anyone, and then suggested Jacksfilms could not be doxed because he had allegedly posted his address on Google. So, what is doxing, and is it a crime? Well, in general, doxing refers to the act of publishing identifying information about a third party online without a victim's permission. And colloquially, there are generally two types of doxing. One involves releasing truly private information, and the other is releasing information that is publicly available, but not widely disseminated or accessed. And while deleting the photo that Sssniperwolf took was probably the right move, the internet is forever, so the image almost certainly exists somewhere. So is doxing illegal? Well, to give everyone's favorite answer, it depends. The release of publicly available and legally obtained information is generally not a crime. In fact, doxing itself is not specifically illegal in most US jurisdictions. But if doxing is done with malicious intent to injure, individuals could be prosecuted for a variety of crimes such as stalking or harassment. And doxing can also violate the private terms of service of other platforms like YouTube.
We don't allow content that targets someone with prolonged insults or slurs based on their physical traits or protected group status like age, disability, ethnicity, gender, sexual orientation, or race. Wow, but Matt Walsh's channel, still heavily monetized. Yeah, he stopped that for a little while, and then he was like, yeah, they demonetized me. I was making $100,000 a month off YouTube. Then you just brought it back, you know, a little bit after Pride, by the way, so yeah. We also don't allow other harmful behaviors like threats or doxing. Keep in mind that we take a stricter approach on content that targets minors.
Brief Instagram post of Jacksfilms' home on Sssniperwolf's Instagram likely doesn't either. But that's just the law. Despite what you might have heard on the internet, YouTube is not the government, and it is not bound by the First Amendment. It is a private party, and it can generally set whatever terms it wants. So even if Sssniperwolf's post didn't rise to the level of criminal activity, the mere act of doxing the Douglas home, even if the post was later deleted, arguably violated YouTube's terms of service and could lead to Sssniperwolf to be deplatformed and or demonetized. YouTube's terms of service prohibit what it describes as, quote, harmful behaviors like threats or doxing. Now, the night that Sssniperwolf shared an image of the Douglas home, Jacksfilms tagged YouTube on Twitter, asking the company to demonetize this danger.
I work for a lot of millionaire and billionaire homes here in San Jose, and they all make me sign NDAs. I always get sketched out when mentioning my clients to my family. So I guess every single time it's like, well, we don't want you to report on anything that you've seen here. You can't tell anybody how the sausage is made in our home.
Creator or kick her off the platform entirely. Now, the next day, Jacksfilm released a video begging YouTube to enforce its own policies and demonetize and or deplatform Sssniperwolf before someone got hurt. And on October 17th, Jacksfilm stated that he had sent YouTube a video and reiterated his belief that Sssniperwolf's actions constituted a clear example of doxing and a clear violation of your policy against threats and doxing. And on October 20th, to many people's disbelief, YouTube actually acted. They stated on Twitter, confirming Sssniperwolf has received a temporary monetization suspension per creator responsibility policies. Off-platform actions that put others' personal safety at risk, harm our community, and the behavior on both sides isn't what we want on YouTube. Hoping everyone helps move this convo to a better place. This response was roundly criticized because, as many people correctly pointed out, this is literal both sidesing, that Jacksfilms had simply created videos criticizing what he saw as low-value content and creating some parodies, whereas it was Sssniperwolf that engaged in the doxing behavior, which was a violation.
It is absolutely 100% both sidesing, right? And it's like, it's wild YouTube did a both sidesing statement. And in addition to that, they're like, don't worry, we've taken action, everybody. There's a temporary suspension of monetization, and then she can go right back to what she was doing before. But yeah, lesson learned. We're not going to address, the multiple videos that have come out that show that she may be endangering minors.
It's upside down. It's upside down. She does seem to be, based on her interactions with Jack, and obviously doxing him on purpose, a really nasty person. Just a mean-spirited, real nasty. You know what I mean? But that's not the only thing. That's just one. There's 3. Another one here is she's asking a 16-year-old girl, allegedly 16, to flash her.
YouTube has temporarily demonetized the video of Sssniperwolf's channel after she went to Jacksfilms' house.
Toxic gossip train. Hop on board but close your eyes. Otherwise you would realize that the train is made of lies. And that person we despise. And he didn't deserve to die. But hey, at least you're having fun.
Do you enjoy the Serfs but prefer not to have to use your eyeballs? Many are saying this. Well, we've got the solution for you. It's the Serf Times in podcast form. Available on most major podcasting networks now. If you enjoy it, please consider leaving a good review and feedback because it really helps the show out, apparently, and it's free, just like the podcast.
Thank you so much for watching, everybody. This show is produced by amazing people like you, and if you want to help us out, please consider donating over at patreon.com/theserfs. The show is made possible thanks to Amazing Fletch, Anna Loves Riley, Ariane McCarthy, Cheryl Alvarez, Doug Cady, Everything Important, Hagbard Celine, Laminia Panza, Matthew Scarborough, Multimundi, Omni, Peanut Butter Blondie, Political Pappy, Quiet 185, Rachel K, Riley and Anna, Roller Dragon, Ruby K, Sir Nickus, Spinach Monster, Stellar Vision, Sebastian Demo, Tech Tink, Trevbot EXE, Words Greenwood, and not to mention all of the amazing and fabulous people you now see before you.